Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm continuing my top 100 list today. It's 70 to 61. Let's get right into it. It's been an interesting list so far. Like I said, a lot of changes, a lot of games have been off this list that were on last year and from this year. So I might see some newbies today. So number 70 is new to the list. Zombicide, Undead or Alive. I finally tabled this in 24, and I really like it a lot. It is hard, and I've heard that most Zombicide games are fairly easy. I have a few of them here. I have Undead or Alive, I have Invader, Black Plague, and Marvel Zombies. I felt Marvel Zombies was very easy. I mean, I only played the first scenario. I hear the X-Men one is a little bit harder. Again, I got to dive more into Marvel Zombies. Will it appear on this list? Maybe. But Undead or Alive is a ton of fun. It is hectic. It's what I want. My main problem also with Zombicide is I don't like having to control two characters at once. You know, it says that you always need 6 characters. I'm really not a fan of that, but it's still fun. It's still very hectic. We did not win, and that's what I want from a cooperative game. I'm very picky when it comes to co-op games because of the replayability of them. When you're done with it, do I want to go back and play this again? Most of the time, no. That's why Pandemic is not on this list. I had fun with Pandemic when I played it. We beat it. I'm done with it. I hear about Legacy, but, you know, again, those are Legacy games. But you know, with Zombicide, I like the theme. I've always liked the cowboy theme as well, the Western theme, and the stretch goals. It's got all my favorite Western characters from my favorite Western movies too, which again brings up the theme a lot more. But yeah, Zombicide, Undead or Alive, my number 70. All right, rambling too much. 69, another one new to the list. That is Heat. So Heat is a racing game, but it's hand management, and of course plays up to 6. I think the expansion, the Hard Rain, adds more, but I'm really liking Heat a lot. I think it can go up. I've played it a few times. I have it. I picked it up last year as well, or maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember, but yeah, you're managing your hand, managing your cards, and you want to be careful on which cards you play, and I do get a kick out of that, but while also watching your opponent, seeing what they do, and using their moves to benefit yourself, because you can sneak up behind them and then get in front. So it's a lot of good strategy there. Of course, there's a bunch of maps. I can see. I'm not going to review it. I feel like there's so much. This game is already so popular. But that's an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I think it can go higher when I play the Hard Rain. Again, you could add more unique cards to your decks, more upgrades and such. It's just a really good racing game, and I'm not really a fan of racing games. Even back in the day, you know, I wasn't a Gran Turismo, you know, into video games and stuff. I wasn't a fan of Gran Turismo. I think the only racing game I really ever played a lot was Star Wars Racer on N64. That was 26 years ago or so. But yeah, not a fan of racing games, but I love Heat. It is my number 69. 68 is also new to the list. This is a 2-player, but it goes up to 4 horror game. It's very abstract, and it's called Harrow County. Now, this is based off a comic book or a graphic novel that I've never heard of, but I do like the company. I really like Mind Management. It's one of my favorite hidden movement games. And is it on the list? Maybe, maybe not. But I really enjoyed Harrow County. It was very abstract. Again, because I'm not familiar with the comic books, I don't know the theme, if the theme sticks out or not. Because it felt more, and because of that, it felt more abstract to me. But yeah, essentially one person plays as the family, the other plays as the girl Harrow, and I think that's her name. And, you know, it's very asymmetrical. As the game progresses, you can have 3 players. One plays as the witch, and then it also has 4th play. I think somebody plays as the fairies or something. But I'm really liking it a lot so far. I want to play it more, but those first few plays did leave a lasting impression on me. And of course, I do have the deluxe edition, and it looks awesome. You don't need it, but still a really fantastic game. Number 68, Harrow County. 67. I think this is new to the list. I'm not sure if it was on my list last year, but this is another hidden movement game, and this is Halloween. So Halloween. So here's the thing with Halloween. I love it because of the theme. And somebody said it's very similar to Spectre Ops. I've never played Spectre Ops, but it's from Emerson Matsuuchi, I think, who also created Spectre Ops. But again, one person plays Michael Myers, and the other are the babysitters, and they're trying to either rescue the kids or kill Michael Myers. And obviously, Michael Myers is trying to off everybody. You know, a lot of dice rolling, but thematically, it fits so well with the movie and everything. And I just really, really enjoy it. It's like almost a 9 out of 10 for me, but it's because of the theme, and it's so much fun. It's so simple, easy to table. It's not rules heavy at all. And just because a game is simple, it doesn't mean that it can't be really good. It does everything so well, and that's what I like about Emerson Matsuuchi. He does make these simple games like the Century games, Foundations of Metropolis, which was on my list, but he adds so much depth to it. And they just came out with Halloween 2, and I really want to get my hands on that as well. See if it changes anything, because I'm a big fan of the movies. It's one of my favorite, it's in my top 10 movies of all time. But yeah, really enjoy Halloween. Again, I don't know if the hardcore gamers will. Like, if you play a game like Mind Management, Halloween might be, I don't know, you might not enjoy it. Especially because of the of how simple it is and stuff. But again, it's the theme that really gets to me, and that I enjoy a lot. So 67, Halloween. 66. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of crap for this because I have never tabled the board game itself. I have it. It's very heavy, but there is an awesome app for it called, and this is Through the Ages. So Through the Ages is I guess you can try to call it 4X in a card game, except it's not much exploring. So essentially, you're building your civilization from despot, and you're growing it, and you could choose with any path you want. Make it capitalist, communist, but of course, all of these come at a price. And you can attack other players, build up your army, and advance in different technologies. It's an amazing game. I do really want to table it. I always prefer the board game itself to the app, but the app is so good for a game that's so heavy. And it's not an easy game. It'll take you about 3 hours. Probably 2-3 players is the best to play, because there's going to be a lot of downtime. With more players, it's going to be longer. But I do highly recommend it. I want to table it. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Play the video game or the app first. It's essentially the same thing. You get it on Steam. I'm not sure if it's on the phones or not. I play it on Steam, and my friends really enjoyed it as well. It would be higher if I played it more. Again, the Steam version, you're not going to find that many players on there. But that's why I'm trying to find people who are dedicated to playing the board game itself. But it's still on my list. Don't care what anybody says, because the video game or the app, whatever you want to call it, is essentially the same thing as the board game. So that's 66, Through the Ages. 65, brand new to the list as well. This is Hansa Teutonica. So this is a Euro game, but a very mean Euro game. And again, once I heard mean, I wanted to play this game. It was given to me for a Secret Santa. Finally got to play it. It is amazing. Again, you're building your route, and you're trying to connect to the different cities, and you're screwing other players over as well. It is so much fun. I have the big box which has different maps, mods, and everything. It's one of those oldies but goodies. It is such a good freaking game. Again, if you're not into mean games, you might not like it, but it is very competitive. It doesn't leave you. I never felt that we were like behind, or like, oh, somebody's running away with the game. You don't. But again, that's me. But there is some catch-up mechanism, and the game does play pretty quickly. You could play a game about an hour and a half. I don't, maybe two, depending on what AP people, AP players. But it's not a long game. It's very simple, and it's so much fun. That is 65 Hansa Teutonica. 64 was on my list last year as well. This is Wayfarers of the South Tigris. So Wayfarers is the first game in the latest trilogy of from Garphill Games. So essentially, again, now this series involves using dice. I haven't played Inventors yet. I think I mentioned that in the previous videos. I do have Inventors, haven't played it yet. But Wayfarers is a really, really nice game as you're taking these cards and you're building your own little map, space, and so land and sky. It is really unique in what it does. It is a ton of fun. It is super crunchy. Interaction, again, I need player interaction, but if a game really intrigues me enough, I can, mind it that there's less player interaction. Again, there's a little, there's some. You still got to pay attention to what the other players, your opponents, are doing. It also makes a great two-player game. So, number 64, Wayfarers of the South Tigris. 63, this is a dungeon crawler cooperative game that I'm really loving a lot. This is Cthulhu Death May Die. This is the original one. I don't have the new one that came out or the second season. This is the base original box. Again, really great dungeon crawl. Very hard. I don't think it's easy at all. I do think we beat the first scenario finally. Again, there's nothing. You can always mix and match and stuff, but it is just so good, so thematic as well. Again, if you're a fan of Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft, and all that. The theme is in there, and it is a tough game. Monsters are constantly respawning, messing you up, attacking you. You got to really try to plan things out well. Mansions of Madness I do think Mansions of Madness is a better game still, but I've played Mansions of Madness less than Cthulhu Death May Die. That's why Cthulhu Death May Die is higher on this list, but still one of the best dungeon crawlers out there. That is number 63, Cthulhu Death May Die. Number 62, I wish this would be higher on the list because I love it. It hasn't been tabled as much. This game is from the 70s and it still sticks out today, still holds up, and that is Cosmic Encounter. Cosmic Encounter is a classic card game where you are essentially trying to overtake different planets, attack your opponents, also negotiate, make deals and stuff. But this mechanism still works today. I think it's from 1977, so you're looking at 48 years later now. It's 2025, so 48 years later, the game still holds up. I can only imagine a 50th anniversary coming out, probably making the component. Knowing Fantasy Flight, they'll make this super 50th anniversary edition in a few years that has all these nice components and stuff. But there's a ton of expansions out there for it. That just keeps the game growing, and yeah, it's gonna be a classic for a long time. It's gonna be popular at conventions for a really long time. But yeah, I really want to get back to playing that again. That was number 62, Cosmic Encounter. 61 is a bag builder, a game that really took me by surprise. This is Resurgence by Stan Kardonsky. So this is a worker placement bag builder where you're playing in post-apocalyptic Moscow or something, and you're essentially building up your base. But you're, getting more different workers. I do wish there was more, though. I feel like there's not enough workers. The game really needs an expansion. I mean, again, I love what I'm doing, but I do feel like there's a little more something missing. And something feels incomplete about it, but it's still a fantastic game because I love bag builders. I love deck building. And it's, just building up your own bag. Again, player interaction. I wish there was more. Again, you really just have to, you're blocking other people. You still got to watch what your opponent is doing. But it's also going somewhere, I believe, where someone else is there, you have to pay them or you have to spend another resource. So you kind of hinder your opponents a little bit that way. But again, this little puzzle that you're doing in front of you is just, I find it intriguing. again, adding on to the bag building, trying to get those different workers. There's that card play. Replayability, I think, is pretty good. There are some mods in the game that I had the old Kickstarter edition. I know Portal Games is just re-releasing it, but yeah, I think a game you really should check out if you like worker placement and bag building. And if Stan Kardonsky is watching this, please give us a nice big expansion for this game. I think it's begging for one. So yeah, that's gonna do it for today, guys. That is my top 100 games of 70 to 61. We're only a quarter way through, but usually I would have this done by now. A lot of things going on, but yeah, let me know if we have any crossovers. Please like and subscribe. Helps this little channel grow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, have a great one.